Stavros,
Hey,
dude, I greatly appreciate you coming to chat with me tonight.
I appreciate you asking me to come chat. I love a good chat.
Yeah, dude. I'll tell you, obviously we're gonna chat about the Atlas Moth, whom I fucking love you guys.
Thank you.
I'm glad you posted new shit. So
Yep.
it gave me the option to buy Masters of, which
Yeah.
I was like, fuck yeah.
So it's a funny story. I just recently moved in with my sister, who bought a house off me that was I inherited years ago, and I have dogs, and she runs a bully breed rescue here called the Chicagoland Bully Breed Rescue. There's a plug. Um, but yeah, I basically have dogs, and trying to find an affordable apartment in the city of Chicago right now is insane. And I
Yeah,
kind of got to this point where I was like, you know what? I'm sick of renting places that I don't even want to live in, simply because I want my dogs with me, and they'll allow me to have dogs. So I
yeah,
was kind of like, let me. In the meantime, like I'm trying to, I'm kind of in between regular gigs and stuff, and I'm like, let me. I moved back in with my sister, and I lived here the first 10 years of the Atlas Moth. We practiced in the basement, like an ache for the distance was written in the basement. A glorified piece of blue sky was written in the basement. Most of the old believers were in the basement. So like I had a lot of stuff here still, and I opened up a fucking closet I'm upstairs in the attic at her house. I opened up a closet and there's 3 or 4 boxes of those records. And I was like, no, like I thought they were all gone. And now I'm just like, why do I have 250 of these records? I think I pressed 1,000 of them like 10 years ago or something. So I
oh
was like,
shit.
I don't have enough room, like I'm a collector of sorts of many a thing, and I have too much shit to begin with. I'm always kind of, like the collector cycle of buying stuff, really wanting it, and then in 2 years being like, do I need 6 of these action
Right.
figures? Like probably not.
Yeah.
So I'm constantly reselling and reselling. So I was like, dude, I just need to get rid of this. Some of this Atlas Moth stuff. Like one of the shirts I sold yesterday was from like 2013 or something. It's like,
Oh
why do I have
shit.
why is this here? Like had to get rid of it. So it was actually kind of nice purging yesterday. I was like, oh, this is great. And here I am because of that. So
Yeah. Well, it makes you feel it like lightens the fucking load when you're like, oh, I'm getting rid of shit. Like it's less
right,
weight you
right.
gotta bear.
Yeah, and moving as a lifelong collector, this last move of mine, I was just like, fuck, maybe being a minimalist is cool. I don't know.
Yeah.
Like,
Well,
I definitely don't want to. I grew up in high school. I worked at a used record store where like when Dark Side of the Moon was $5, mint condition, not
yeah.
like it is now. And I would get farther in the 90s with my meager paycheck, signing it over on fucking payday and be like, I'll take my 40% discount and I'm just gonna go buy a bunch of vinyl because I'm walking out with a stack.
Yeah.
So like let me tell you, this last vinyl move, I was like, you know what? Fucking streaming is great, like I don't
Well,
need, I don't need, are you experienced? You know what I mean? Like I've heard that record enough, dude. So
well, like I get it. Like my wife, I told her when we first started dating, I said I had lost my all my fucking collection a couple of years earlier. My house burned down, so I just lost
ah,
everything.
it's like my
And
worst nightmare.
I said, listen, don't buy me any fucking records ever, because the
Right?
minute you do, it's fucking downhill.
Every
And
fucking time. Every time.
like a year later, I know you're a big like Deftones guy,
I
so
am.
a year later, she buys me the self-titled on vinyl, 2003, and I was like,
Yeah.
"Oh, you fucking did it!"
You can't have
Like
one without having all the others either.
I
Then you
know,
gotta get them all. And then it's like Pokemon. And I'm too old for Pokemon, like
I
that
I
was younger
know,
generations than me. I'm not ready for this shit anymore, man.
dude. So it's fucking ridiculous. I'm sitting here, thousands of records on my fucking wall,
Right,
and
right, right.
she's like, "We should move," and I'm like, "I don't think so."
No, yeah.
I
Do you got money for movers? So I ain't fucking
right,
carrying all this shit,
yeah,
like fuck you. That's funny. Like I have a game I play with myself whenever I'm going through shit, and it's like, is this worth more to me monetarily than it is emotional or whatever,
yeah,
nostalgic, whatever the word I'm looking for is. And I do that a lot. And with records, it's like I'm really cutthroat nowadays. You know what I mean? Like, unless it was like a band that I toured with on that record, and I have really good memories of that tour, or if it's like one of my all-time favorite bands, which, being a big music guy is like 20 bands, like my
Oh yeah.
all-time, my top 10 is like a top 40, you know. So stuff like that. It's like so I'll go through it and I'll just like kind of like it's funny you mentioned Deftones. Like I have the original White Pony that was only for promo, and it's like the do you remember the CD that they put out the original time? It was like an opaque black or red.
Yeah.
So it's just like that. It's got that bag over this vinyl. It's only promo only. It's like one of those things where I'm like, no, I will be buried
Yeah.
with this. Like never gonna
Yeah.
let that one go. Right? Like my record collection is pretty much all killer, all no filler now, which is it's nice. It's nice. Like when I want
That's
to
where you
listen
want to
to,
be for sure. Yeah.
yeah,
So most of mine, I probably when my little brother passed away, I got I don't know, 200 or 300 records of just a bunch of random shit. And it's like it's everything from like Air Supply to like old Johnny Cash and Tammy Wynette. And
right, yeah.
I'm
And
like,
you got that like Johnny Cash stuff is like Elvis, where it's like they have all these fucking compilation records.
yeah,
I don't need another Elvis greatest hits. I'm gonna lose my
right.
fucking mind, Like
Yeah.
it's rough, and people give me shit all the time. I'm always like, thanks, but god damn it,
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
no, I don't want your
Fuck
grandma's
that.
records, Like, I don't need Bing Crosby and Robert Goulet. They do not make the cut, right?
No, no, that one goes. It's, so I'm like, now it's everything I buy is a band that I've either generally seen live. I try to fucking always buy vinyl at a show because I want to support the bands that are out there fucking touring and whatnot.
Sure, yeah.
Uh, so I
Yeah,
don't know.
little unknown fact, but not a lot of people, bands do buy every one of those copies of the record that they bring with on tour. So at the end of the tour, I've heard labels will buy back stuff, but I've never had that personally happen to me. So just for everyone that know, buying a record from the band on tour is always a good thing. Buying it from the record label is just as good. If you ask me, got to show that record label keep giving us thousands of dollars to yell into microphones and the such,
Yeah, no shit.
you know, if they're only if they're only like banking on me to sell the records on tour, it's not going to look that great, like So
Yeah, you're not out there 350 days a year touring, like,
not anymore. No, I learned that lesson. That was harsh,
yeah, it's hard. It is a fucking hard lesson to learn.
you can't stop it either. The guys told me like I had so many dudes I looked up to my entire life, and I got to a certain point, and they'd be like, "Shouldn't do that, kid," and I'd be like, I'm gonna, I'm a fucking idiot, It is what it is, though. You kind of, it's like with everything. You can't tell your buddy, oh, hey, man, that girl's trouble. Hey, you got to figure it out on their own, man. But now
That's
in my 40s, I've figured it out. I'd like to think, at least sort of.
Yeah, now it's every time you go out, it's fucking got a purpose, whereas
That's really the thing, Atlas Moth would be like, we'd get an email. So you guys want to do this tour? And it was like, I wouldn't even read who it was with, but yep, yep, yep. We were like Nicolas Cage just taking movie roles, and like there was, I can't, the biggest thing with the Atlas Moth was that we would always do a tour and it would be successful. And then we'd always do a fucking another tour right away. We'd lose all of our money that we made. It was like
fuck,
constant. Yeah, every time, man. It's like, oh, God damn it, what are we doing? Like, why don't you just go fucking home? Pet your dog, dude. Like,
right?
yeah,
Yeah,
see your
they
girlfriend.
fucking miss you like
Fuck
shit, dude.
yeah, yeah. Like, I'd rather be with my dog than play South Carolina on a Wednesday night ever again. Just with all due respect to the 6 people that have come to see me play in South Carolina historically, I really appreciate all 6 of you, but it isn't paying the bills. I'd rather be at home. Sorry.
Ticket cost just went up $500 a ticket.
Yeah, I know. Seriously, right? Yeah, it's ridiculous.
Fuck.
I'm
Yeah.
kind of curious about how that is actually going to continue to go because I feel like we're jumping the shark with festivals now a bit,
Oh
at
yeah.
least. You know what I mean? It's like seeing that huge one was that one out in Vegas just got canceled with Acid
Psych.
Bath.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Sick New World.
Sick New World. Yeah, I saw that and I was like, like I feel like people think that they're gonna go to these festivals and see all these bands.
Yeah.
Like, I remember going to the first Ozfest with 2 stages, and me running back and forth between the two stages when I was in high school, mind you, when I was full of energy. Like it was a son of a bitch. And at some point or another throughout that day, I was like, I'm not going to see that second stage, man. I'm staying at the fucking seats this time. You know what I mean? Like, fuck you. Like, Black Sabbath is coming up. I don't care who fucking is headlining the second stage,
Right.
like,
I'm gonna stay right fucking here. Dude, I
yeah,
literally I was at a show just a couple weeks ago and I realized like if I'm going to a show, three bands,
that's
perfect
it.
amount of bands.
It's
Four,
true.
I can deal with the fourth, but when it gets to five, I'm like, yeah, I don't.
Yeah, I'm honestly just skipping a band, like in my as I've gotten older, I mean, like not like I've really taken care of my hearing as well as I probably should have in my youth, but like I just can't. It just becomes undiscernible mess to me. I'm always just like, like I'd rather watch a band for 45 minutes, kill it, and leave me wanting more. I don't need the arena set. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? But yeah, three bands, that's the way to do it. And especially like when you got metal bands that have these long drawn out songs too, it's like, dude, the last thing I need after watching this sick doom band play two songs in their 30-minute set is to watch another band do that. It's like not my shit anymore, like
Yeah, dude, it's hard. And the older you get, the more you fucking realize like we do Louder Than Life every year because it's right around the
yeah,
fucking corner. Holy shit. I
yeah.
schedule it out. I schedule my day. I'm gonna go watch this band. That one I can do without, like
I mean, you're gonna have to, I mean, there's something called when you're investing in a 12-hour day of music,
oh
like
yeah.
I want to sit down, I want to not hear music. I need to take at least 10 pisses.
Yeah.
Like, am I drinking beers because I'm standing in line for that shit? Like, you are not. I think there's like this big fallacy that you're gonna see 30 fucking bands, and you're just fucking not. It's
No,
and
not at all.
I think people are. I would hope people are starting to realize that seeing three bands and being able to give those bands almost all of your attention the entire time without looking at your fucking phone to see who's going on next or whatever it might be. Like that is far superior than trying to catch two songs of this band. And then by the time you run to this fucking stage, you miss this band or that stage running late. And it's just a mess. And I'll be the first to admit that like I love playing a festival. Like
Oh yeah.
it's like you kind of get lumped in with you're getting taken care of better, what I mean, than the South Carolina on Wednesday night, right? You know what I mean? But going to a festival, the last time I went to a festival, I went to a Riot Fest. As an attendee, I've worked several festivals, which is far different, but I went to a Riot Fest and on one stage right in a row was Adolescence, Killing Joke, Jesus Lizard. And I was like,
Perfect.
I'm going for three bands and I'm fucking leaving before a headliner. And I still had to spend $200 on a cab to get the fuck home.
Oh
So,
yeah.
it wasn't really worth it at the end of the day,
Yeah.
So, yeah,
That
I
was a
don't know, but
fucking $1,000 day. You're like, I watched three bands. This is
yeah,
great.
I thought I was gonna like get away with it. You know what I mean? It was like I was on the guest list. I was like, hell yeah, no, man, that cost me a lot of fucking money then.
Yeah, that's fucking that, that's the worst thing. I mean, Louder Than Life this year was the same way. We had artist passes, so we're just fucking running the thing. But I still went and spent, I don't know, $500 at the fucking merch tent.
Of course, yeah.
Like,
Yeah, and they make you price match your merch, like there have been times the Atlas Moth have played festivals and I've been like, yo, I'm available to people, like if you fucking watched my band, I have time for you always. You know what I
yeah,
mean? Like, I'm not gonna help you fucking move. You know what I mean? Like, but like, if you want to talk to me after I play, absolutely, I'm there. And I've literally been like, hey, we're not selling our t-shirts at these fucking merch stands. They're taking 40% of my money and making you guys spend $30.
yeah.
Like, come and find me. I'll sell you a shirt for 20 or 15 or whatever, like I got no problem bucking the system on that, like
Well, I like that. There are a lot of bands that are doing that now, like with the venues that want to take their 25 or 30 or whatever percent. They're like, cool. We just won't sell there. We'll sell you after the show at our bus or whatever.
yeah, actually, I just a buddy of mine is out doing. He tour manages and does merch. I'm sorry, he does merch for Godspeed You Black Emperor, and they just played here, and he needed some help because he knew it was gonna be a big show. And I do merch selling sometimes for a lot of podcasts actually, but I was in town, like, yeah, I'll come help you out, man. And it was funny. So it was, yeah, there was some venue they were gonna try to take like 50% of our merch sales. And we're like, nope. And I just set up my merch out of the back of our trailer. And like, yeah, fuck that. Like, well, why aren't you giving me some percentage of your booze sales, sirs?
Right.
You know, I think that would be nice.
Well, yeah,
Like,
if you're gonna
all
take
these people
if
are here, right? Because of me. So, you know, like, you're gonna
right.
take from me, I have to take from you.
That's how it should be, right? If you're going to take merch, the fucking band should absolutely get some of those alcohol sales. I mean, I know that's what the venues thrive on, but Jesus Christ, I also like I've always been kind of anti Ticketmaster. I still use them because you
You
fucking
have to.
have to, but I like that the DOJ filed suit against Ticketmaster and Live Nation to try and break that fucking monopoly up.
Yeah, I don't even understand how tickets are even sold nowadays anymore. You know, like I sit there and I look at them, I'm like, this didn't they just go on sale? Why is this ticket
Verified
$110?
resale. Yeah,
Fuck that, you know, like I mean, I guess I can say I'm like spoiled enough where like 9 times out of 10 I don't need to buy a ticket. And for some reason or another, people seem to give me tickets to shows all the time. Um, I don't know,
it's a
they
good
must think
problem to
like,
have.
yeah, it's a pretty decent problem to have, other than feeling like you have to go all the time, you know.
Yeah.
Like sometimes I don't want to go, you know. But yeah, so like, but I mean, the last couple things I bought, I've always been like, what the fuck is going on here, you know? Like, and that's the other thing too, is I think that people are broke, you know, like people don't need to be spending $300 to go and see Metallica, dude. Like
Right.
you're playing football stadiums, dude. It's like also, hey man, good for you. Get your money. Like I gotta respect that, but like, don't gouge the people, you know. Like,
Yeah, did you
what's
see I was actually gonna go see Metallica in Nashville next year and they fucking looking at tickets. I was like, I'll get Snake Pit. It was like 13 or 1400 and I'm like, oh, like I'm
yeah, that's a little bit much for one night of entertainment for somebody. And also, like, how many people are going alone?
right.
Not many. You know what I mean?
No,
That's like 3 grand, you know, like once you figure it all in, that's unfair to people that like have helped you be able to play with a snake pit, you know. And I like I said, I can also respect the band getting paid. We don't get paid, you know.
right.
No one ever really figured out piracy for musicians like they did for actors and such. So they have a union. So,
Yeah.
you know, like I support a band getting paid, but like, let's do it reasonably, dude. You know, like how much money is Metallica making a night?
Oh,
Far
dude.
more than I made last night, you
Yeah.
know, far more.
Yeah, like I can't even imagine what Metallica gets paid. We were gonna book Tool at one point. Now this is back probably '01 or '02, and at that point
Uh-oh.
they had a $500,000 guarantee.
And that's got to have at least tripled at this point.
Oh, I would think 5 or 6 times at least.
At least because now they don't do shit. It's
Yeah.
wild, man. I would be I would be fucking giving away a lot of free tickets if I was getting paid fucking $3,000 or $3 million
Oh, dude,
to fucking play a show. Like
I'm telling you, be like
I'd be,
fucking,
you
they're
kidding
paying.
me?
Here you
Yeah,
go.
you
Come
guys have
on.
a free T-shirt too. Fuck it, take it.
Right.
Like, I don't fuck at this point. Like, goddamn.
Yeah, I can't even fucking imagine that. Like, holy
No,
shit.
when we've gotten big paychecks to play an Atlas Moth show, I've been like, wow, like we're fucking rich, you know. Like, I'm like I just told you, like it never lasts, you know. Like
Well,
never once has it been life changing money. Let me tell you that.
right. Well, I guess it could be at some point
I think
somehow.
that's kind of what we're looking down at now. You know, we've kind of like weathered the storm as much as you can, or you're supposed to, and now people are looking at us like so like a legacy act of some sort. You know, and that's kind of cool. You know, like I mean, the fact of the matter is, all my favorite bands are bands that weren't really totally appreciated as much as their peers right away.
Right.
So I guess that's probably
Well,
should have picked
it's
better bands to more popular bands
I don't
to
know. I
model your
think
band in, or not. I don't know. You know,
I think one of the cool things about the Atlas Moth is it doesn't sound like anything else out there. You guys have a sound unique to yourselves, and that's in shit in the last 30 years, it's so fucking hard to have a sound. When you hear a song, you go, "Oh, that is that band. I know it
right?
for sure."
Yeah, no, that's the biggest compliment I could ask for. Thank you. It's always been a thing where we were never put parameters on our music. You know, it was always like
Yeah,
everything's viable as long as like it's good. You know, like not everything has made the cut. You know what I mean? Like we've had some failures over the years, but yeah, we like it's always been a point of being like, hey, like let's try stuff. None of us just listen to metal.
Right.
I mean, there have been periods of time over like our history where I've listened to literally nothing but hip hop, you know, and like there's plenty of music out there to take a lot of influence from. You kind of hear that too when we do covers. We never do anything you would really expect a metal band to do, which I
Right.
think is kind of cool, you know, regularly at least, I think.
I think that's it's fun. Again, it's another like pushing the boundaries. What can we get away with, or what do we want to
Yeah.
do? But that's also like the longevity for a band. I see it is they enjoy what they do, right? They play music for themselves, whatever that is, and they take influences. Whether someone's going to say, "Ah, that's fucking stupid," or "That's great," like the band still goes, "Yeah, we're going to do what we're going to do."
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I'll tell you one. That's one thing, and that's kind of like why we kind of have been on a break for a minute now. Like partial the reason. I mean, like when we started writing the follow-up Tacoma, like I was pretty fucking burnt out, and um, like it didn't feel natural to me. I wasn't. Whenever we've done a record in the past, like we did a record and we toured on it, we toured on touring, and then at some point or another. Yeah, I could probably pinpoint each album, but there'd be a time where we're loading out at some city, and Andrew would look at me and he'd be like, I think I'm ready for a new record. And usually when he would say it, I'd be like, hell yeah, man, me too. Let's do this when we get home. And it would just be hit the ground running all the time. And it just didn't feel right. And we have a bunch of demos to go through that we've worked on over the years, over the last couple of years, but nothing. I think that now what we're going to be getting back in the rehearsal room starting March 1st to get ready for a tour that we're going to do around Prepare the Ground, which we're playing in Toronto, May 31st, June 1st, something like that. So we're going to be doing some touring, and we're going to get in the room and we're going to see how it feels, And like, I'm pretty ready for an Atlas Moth record, and I have a
Yeah.
feeling that we all will be too once we're in a room together, I think it's about that time.
That's cool. That's really cool to hear. I was going to ask you if you guys were already writing or planning on, anything like that. So
I
obviously
mean,
from a
I write every single day. You know what I mean?
yeah,
Every day I wake up, and some days I write. I don't really try to put too many labels on things, but sometimes I'm like, I'll write something and I'll be like, ooh, this is Atlas Mouthy. Or then I'm like, ooh, this is Motherless, and I put it over in Motherless pile. You know what I mean? And then things go wherever they want, wherever it
yeah.
feels right. So it's I'm always writing. I'm always ready. And I think more than ever right now, I'm like, if you put me in the room, I'm ready to go. I'm
Hell yeah.
feeling up from writing some fucking music for sure.
Hell yeah. Well, that's fucking cool. Obviously, Como is a great record. I
Thank you.
like Glorified and the Old Believer for me are just I fucking
Well,
listen to those. I still listen to those like I don't know. I probably listened to Old Believer 3 or 4 times, in the last like 2 months. Like they're
it's
just
wild. Everyone has a different one that they can relate to or gravitate towards. It's always cool to hear that. I think that's awesome too. Uh, Being a little divisive or being like having make people be particular about a record, I think that's kind of cool. Like because it's like kind of always been a thing where you should get what you want out of us. You know what I mean? I'm not
for
trying to
sure.
tell you what anything is about or what I was. You know what I mean? Figure it out for yourself because that's the beauty of music or something, right?
Yeah, I would the artwork on fucking the Old Believer always was like such a cool fucking concept.
Yeah, dude, it was really awesome working with the Clark brother, figuring that out. And then like I don't know if you have the CD that changes its cover with the water.
I got the vinyl.
So the CD comes with like the front cover comes out, you can run it underwater and it turns to a different cover, which is on the vinyl, right? And
Yeah.
coming up with that together and like, I went and I directed the photo shoot. Working with him was awesome. I'm a huge fan of his artwork, and I'm actually a fan of Demon Hunter, his band, for a long time. I actually really always dug them, even though they're Christian.
Yeah, no, like that always I always thought they had some really good music and someone's like they're Christian. I'm like, no way. And I looked and I'm like, oh, they're Christian, but
Yeah, yeah, and like, I've kind of gotten to this point, like I really like film and I really like, professional wrestling and I like heavy metal. All these things are things that make me suspend my belief.
yeah,
And I've kind of chosen now in my later years to really make it a point to not look into anybody's personal stuff that I like their art. You know what I mean?
Right.
Anyone, any artist, I don't try to fucking learn a damn thing about them anymore. I'm consistently disappointed. You know what I mean? When I find out about people, and like a lot of people are taking really strong stances on stuff nowadays, and um, I fucking hate Donald Trump. Raw, right? So like I'm there's people out there that hate Donald Trump. They're like, oh, and fuck every single Republican, and I'm not gonna watch this media or injustice media because of yada yada yada. And I'm just like, yeah, but like every single film has a Republican fucking money man behind it. Like
Oh yeah.
it's
I
and I'm not gonna miss the next Spider-Man movie.
what
Like fuck off. Like I'm gonna watch
what
that shit. Like I'm a nerd.
you know,
You know what I mean?
when it comes to politics though, like politicians, I am of the mind like fuck all of them. There's
Yeah,
not
I
one
think
of
they're all fucking terrible.
yeah, dude, there's not one of them
100%.
that's out there for you. I don't give a
The
shit.
day a billionaire gives a fuck about me is the day that fucking there are pigs flying, dude. Like I'm also like so the enemy. You know what I mean? Like I'm so not. Yeah, it doesn't matter. They would all hate me, most likely. Matter of fact, like even when it comes to like stuff like wrestling, like I'm a fucking fan, dude. Like I have a hard
Yeah.
time keeping it cool around wrestlers. I've met a lot of them and they're like, oh my God. Like they don't fucking like me. Like I'm just an asshole fan. Like
Well,
so
I doubt I
it's
uh
fine. Like I try not to give a fuck if some fucking guy that writes a comic book, like fucking is Christian or whatever. As much as I did at one point, be like, oh no, doth against my beliefs. It's like I don't give a shit. Like obviously, if you're an actual Nazi, I try to steer clear of that just
right.
because that's just fucked up, But like, I mean, I got a Pantera flag back here, and people can say what they want, but like, I don't know. I really like the Great Southern Trendkill. I can't help it. You know what I mean? Like, I'm gonna like that record. I grew up with it. I'm sorry. I'm hung out with Phil Anselmo. He does drink a lot of white wine.
Yeah.
Confirmed. I mean, like, I don't think
Yeah.
he's a Nazi. Honestly, to be honest with you, like, I think he's kind of a drunk that has a lot of yes people around him. But I don't think he's racist, like
Yeah, I think you're right. I don't think he's racist either. I mean, the
no.
illegals was, with Mike
Eh,
DeLeon
yeah,
and
I've been with him around various black people that he has hugged and kissed and he
yeah,
knows and is good friends with. I don't I mean, no, I'm not trying to defend, but like I said, like I don't give a fuck about who somebody voted for anymore. I don't give a fuck if you go to church on Sunday. I just don't give a shit because like I'm taking you at face value, like I
yeah.
like this record, but like I like this movie.
This one's this one's cool.
This
Fuck
one's
that
cool.
one.
Yeah, that one sucks. You know what I mean? Like I can't
Yeah,
help it. Like, and like like I like a lot of pop music. Like I love pop music, and not current pop, but like well, some here or there. But like I fucking love Michael Jackson.
oh,
You know what I mean? Like it's a problem, but the guy made Thriller.
my
Like
my first concert ever was Michael Jackson Thriller.
that's so awesome. That's so cool. Like I love that record. It's amazing. It's
Me
a
too.
monumental piece of music history. And dude, like I didn't watch Finding Neverland because I didn't want the mystique totally ruined. You know what I mean?
Right.
Because pedophiles on that list of of Nazi for me, right? So
Yeah.
1A, 1B. But like I can't care as much about what some guy that was completely fucked from the go. Like his family fucked him up so bad.
Oh,
And
absolutely.
I'm not trying to defend any of his whatever he digs. Once again, another the state I do not know. But dude, I can't expect much out of the fucking guy. You know what I
Right.
mean? It's kind of like with metal. Like you read some dudes like really fucked up lyrics, and then you find out the guy's a piece of shit. You're kind of like, well, what did you think? I don't know. I mean, the guy's got some
Yeah.
issues, probably, like we all do. Like no one's innocent in that. And yeah, I mean, I just try not to get involved in people's personal lives anymore. I try to keep the mysterious realm around the Atlas Moth as well. Even like never shy away from a question. You know what I mean? And I think my politics are all aligned in a very good way. But you don't need to know what I ate for lunch. Who gives a
No,
fuck?
that's
You know?
that's the truth. I think there's a point of like oversharing Like, tell me what
Yeah,
you're listening to that you think is cool. Like, I'm into finding new bands. You know, if you
right.
saw a band that blew your fucking mind, I want to hear that. But
Yeah.
if you're like, dude, I had avocado toast and three eggs, like,
Who
hey,
gives a
that's
fuck? You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
it's like one of those things too. It's like, how are you approaching me, you yourself? It's about music, right? So let's talk about fucking music. It's obviously
yeah.
something that we can fucking get along about, and like, I also am a big fan of the thought that like shutting people out because of them disagreeing with you just makes them double down on their shitty beliefs.
Well,
Maybe if
you know
they
that,
understand
and
where I'm coming from, right?
it doesn't give us the opportunity to have a conversation
Right,
to open
right.
someone's eyes, right?
Yeah,
Like
absolutely. Yeah.
that I think this whole cancel culture shit, like I, I'm with you. Nazis, pedos, not my world. I want
Yeah,
nothing to
dude,
do with
fuck
that
off,
shit,
like, yeah.
right? But if we can sit down and have a conversation because you have a different belief than I do, and maybe you open my eyes to something, or maybe I open your eyes to something, but let's have a healthy conversation. And
Right.
when we disagree and we just can't get past it, it doesn't mean you're less of a person than I am. We just have different fucking beliefs.
Yeah,
Let's like,
absolutely. And that's how it's gonna go. Like I think majority of people on earth are fucking idiots.
yeah,
You know,
me
like
included. Yeah,
yeah. I mean, like I'm a fucking idiot too, though.
yeah,
May I quote Phil Anselmo? Fuck the entire world, don't leave me out. You know what
right.
I mean? Like it's just the truth, man. Like, it's kind of funny though. People put so much effort into like not wanting to like something because of this, that, and the other. It's like, dude, like, do you got time for all this? Like, life is so goddamn short. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like, watch a fucking movie. Listen to a fucking
enjoy it.
record. Yeah, just
It
watch some. Just enjoy yourself, man. It's just
yeah.
it's too lame. And like I said, like why can't, if I there's a difference between me being like, hey, fuck Donald Trump, the guy's a fucking asshole, and fuck you for liking him, or me being like, hey, fuck Donald Trump because him and his entire family aren't allowed to fucking do anything charitable in the state of New York because they robbed children's cancer research. That sounds a little bit fucking more of a fucking point than fuck you.
Yeah,
Come at some motherfuckers with some facts. You know what I mean? Like,
for sure.
at least then you're, no one can sit there and argue about, him stealing money from kids with cancer, can you? Sure can't argue with me. I tell you to go fuck yourself though.
Right.
So there's that.
That's I mean, that's the truth, right? Like, but
Yeah,
you got to have facts. It's gotta be facts and not some just fuck you for fucking you.
exactly. Yeah. Also, fuck me for fucking me. I don't give a shit. If you don't like it, it's fine.
Yeah.
Whatever. I'm too old to give a fuck, dude. I'm just trying to
So,
buy as many action figures before I die as I
uh,
can. That's really my goal.
what's your favorite action figure that you have?
That's such a hard question. That's I have a lot of action figures, man.
Okay.
I have a lot of vintage action figures. I have my favorite action figure is the Kenner Superpowers Superman. Uh, I grew up very ill, and I'm a huge Superman fan. I always was, and I would go to the doctor all the time with this fucking Superman figure, and I'd lose his cape every fucking time, and I would fucking go into meltdown mode. And my mom started buying them and was leaving them in the trunk of her car. So she could always pull out another Superman toy. Here's a fucking cape. Shut the fuck up, kid. So I have like about 20 of them. No cape, one cape throughout the 20 of them. But my mom bought me all those while I was going through a lot of really hard stuff. It's probably the most prized possession I have. Oddly enough, is 30. So, but
That's cool as fuck though to have that attached to it, right? It's not
yeah,
just I
yeah.
like this one because it's the rarest of the rare and
Yeah,
blah blah
this one's
blah.
worth the most right here.
Yeah.
I paid this. Oddly enough, so you talked, you had a fire and you lost all your stuff. I had moved 2 years ago, which I also said was the last time I was moving. Then I got to really try to stick to my words a little bit better. But I had moved, and in the interim, I was trying to just I had so much stuff. Me and my girlfriend I was with at the time, we had lived in a house for 7 years, grew into it, yada yada yada. And we were moving into a two-bedroom apartment. And I was like, you know what, I gotta let me put some of this stuff in storage really quick and let's move this stuff in, go through it, get our place set, and then I'll move this shit back over to our new place. And in that 2 month interim, my storage unit got robbed completely
Oh,
of
fuck.
like $60,000 worth of my collection. I still had a fuckload of stuff, but I lost a lot. And some of it were those Superman toys. And I
Yeah.
was ready to, throw on a cape and cowl and call myself Batman and go and fucking hunt some motherfuckers down.
Oh, dude, I bet.
Oddly enough, I this guy he took a mix of vintage and current stuff, and he wound up selling all of the vintage stuff to one store in Chicago. And someone there knew that I was looking for it, called me, and I got my vintage stuff back. So I got all my Superman back, which was really fucking cool. And it was my heart was broken for a few weeks. You know what I mean? Like, and I mean, I
Yeah.
still lost something like $25,000 worth of stuff. So,
Yeah, but to be able to get some of it back. So when I left my ex probably 14, 15 years ago, I don't know, I had a bunch of guitars and amps and
yeah,
8 tracks and 16 tracks and shit. I left with the plan to go back and pick all my shit up. Oh,
nice plan, nice
it
plan.
got, yeah, dumbass.
Yeah,
Fuck
yeah, nice.
me.
You take with the things that you definitely are gonna fucking not want to lose.
Yeah.
I've learned that. I've learned that over the years, for sure.
Yeah, that was a hard fucking lesson. That was like
Yeah,
I don't know, I think 50, 60,000 in fucking equipment. And she's like, oh, someone broke in the house. Like, no, they fucking didn't.
yeah. It was called the
Bullshit.
fucking guy that you sold it to at the pawn
Yeah.
shop, motherfucker. Like, yeah,
Yeah.
he broke
Nah,
right into the house.
no fucking pawn shops had any of it. I
Oh, okay.
I called every fucking one. I think what she did is she sold it to people that she knew, like through other people. Oh, you want a nice
Yeah.
guitar? Here's $500. Like that was a $4,000 guitar. What the fuck are you doing?
If you're gonna steal my stuff and sell it, at least get top dollar for it.
Yeah,
That's what I've always said. Like I tell my current girlfriend, I'm like, listen, here's the deal. If anything happens to me, here are the guys that are my friends that you're gonna need to talk to about these specific things. Like records, you talk
yeah,
to this motherfucker, toys, you talk to this motherfucker, and he knows that he's gonna get you the top dollar to bury me. You know, like because God knows I don't have any savings. So like
yeah,
you're gonna have to figure
yeah.
out that whole burial thing. Uh, but yeah, it's
Being a
like,
musician.
yeah, yeah, Kate musician, yeah. That's how that fucking goes.
Oh fuck. But so I mean it kind of is what it is. Like in my mind, I people ask, like, are you mad that you lost all that shit? Like kinda, but at
Yeah, but
at the end of the day, like to get rid of her, I'm good with it.
yeah, I still would love to hunt down the guy that robbed me. I have his full name and address and everything. I got all this stuff, and the Chicago police told me that they knocked on his door and they said he wasn't home. And that's where the investigation ended. And I was like, "Do you guys need to junior deputize me here or something like that? Like, do I
Right.
need to kick in the door? Like, once again, like I have a Batman cape, dude. Like, do I need to don this? Take care of some detective. I've already done your
Da-da.
jobs. Like I found all the shit. I got all of his information. I knew he's, yeah, but nothing. So thank you.
I,
Shout out
I,
Chicago PD.
I think that's like kind of the consensus across all police departments. I mean, it's the same thing here. Like, oh, we got into an accident, come file a report. My wife actually, this dude was nodding out. He fucking rear-ended her.
Oh,
They all
Jesus.
they all pull over. It was like 5 cars. The cop is talking to this guy and he's literally nodding out mid-sentence. And they're like, yeah, it's fine. Go ahead and drive home. Like, what the fuck is
Listen, man,
wrong with you?
I don't ever like doing paperwork either when I've had a job that it requires it. You know what I mean? I get it, but like protect and serve, man.
I know.
It's the first one, like
Yeah.
protect me. You're not protecting me for shit,
You're not protecting anyone else either for that matter. Like, it's fine. You're nodding
Oh,
out. Go ahead and go. Like, what the
this is fucking
fuck is wrong
bullshit.
with you?
Yeah, like why don't you guys protect me once in my life? Supposed to fucking treat me like I'm the goddamn criminal.
Right.
Like I have my head tattooed, all right? Like, but like I am not a criminal, in fact.
Right.
What the
Like,
fuck?
come on. I look like a shithead, but it's not too
Yeah.
bad. I
Yeah, I
swear.
look like I may pay taxes. I don't know. Like, the fuck? What do you expect
So,
though?
so you obviously you guys have the fucking show coming up the end of May. Have you started booking like a run around it, or are you just starting to plan?
No, we're gonna play like 2 weeks worth of shows around it. The whole thing that we decided to do was not do what we have constantly done over the years, which is over tour.
Mhm.
And like there's a lot of bands that are at like a similar level of ours of success that do this a couple of times a year. in short spurts, and as opposed to doing, like we will still, go out with the giant band opening for them for 6 weeks. I will always do that because it's always a good time. It's always
Yeah.
playing to people, and that's what I'm there for. I'm there for to play to people. I don't play to anybody, but I would prefer to play to a sea of people as opposed to six people, right?
Yep.
So stuff like that, but like yeah, we're just there are so many festivals and so much that's like kind of a little bit of a better scenario for us. The Atlas Moth is always drawn in like major cities. We don't draw in smaller cities. It's just the case, so if we can avoid having those, then it's a mental and financial toll on a band to have to go and do those shows that don't draw people. So
Yeah.
if we can base things around festivals here and there and do little runs and hit places. And I think that's basically the plan from now on. And we're trying to just write, in the meantime. I'm hoping to do this little run and come home in June and start working on some records and new stuff, maybe an EP. I don't even know. We'll find out. I'm not trying to define what our plans are quite yet,
Sure.
other than we're not broken up. Everyone keeps asking.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. I didn't think
yeah.
you were broken up. I figured it was like for me, I'm just like, time for a break, whatever. But man, I wish
Yeah.
we'd fucking get out and play some more. Come on.
Yeah. I mean, dude, like I did that a lot. People were like, oh man, I never got to see him. Like, where the fuck were you? The
Right.
only fucking times I played Detroit, like you should have came. You're like, what the fuck? Like, come to New Orleans. Like, I played New Orleans, motherfucker. A lot. A lot of cool bands. Come on out.
Well, I
Like,
assume you guys are going to play Detroit again on that fucking run, and I'll have to make that trip. May.
maybe. Yeah, we'll see how it goes. Like, I mean, we're in Chicago, so we got to get from Toronto back here. So
Yeah.
there's a little loop that we have in mind that we're kind of doing right now. But yeah, it'll be fun. I can't wait. Playing live at the Atlas Moth is a very unique experience, and I
Yeah.
can't wait to be doing it as soon as possible.
Yeah. I haven't seen you guys since the tour with the Ocean.
Damn. So that was 20. That was before the Old Believer came out.
Yeah. What was that? 20.
14.
Yeah.
Yeah, like March, February, March 24th, into April. See, like, I mean, I would do that tour again. It worked out, but like, goddamn, I'm not gonna go and headline a tour and
Right.
play
That was a
fucking Wyoming.
that was a what probably one of my favorite fucking shows, dude. Like
It was a great tour, man. We love those guys in the ocean. And I actually saw Travis, who was on Scale with Summit a couple weeks ago. He was in town for Metallica. We came over here to see
yeah.
Metallica out there. And I still talk to Alex from Silver Snakes pretty regularly. Like, all good friends, man. That was a great tour. I had a lot of fun on that one.
Hell yeah. Yeah,
Oh
that
yeah,
was fun as shit. You guys
yeah. And we
you played with this band Ohm here.
Um, yeah, that
Ohm.
sounds familiar. Yeah,
OHLM.
oh, right. Yes, now I remember that for sure. Yeah, we played that little small room
Yeah,
upstairs,
it was
right?
hold on. So if you when you come up the door, yeah, you
Yeah,
had to go
you
up
go
the
up.
stairs and then
Yeah, and it was
yep.
like a little small corner stage where we're all playing like this, I think. Right?
Uh I gotta think, how was that room laid out? Because they
I think
fucking
there's like stage on one end of it, and there's a bar to the back left, right? I forgot what is
so
that place
the
even called?
yeah, the it was Diamonds at the time.
Diamonds. Okay.
The bar was in the back, but you had all those fucking pillars that were really fucking up the room. And I think stage right was where all the bands hung out at that
That sounds
time.
right. Yeah, that sounds about right. It's been a minute. It's been a minute. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? Like talking like it's like 10 years ago. Who knows?
I know. I'm trying to like think, well, that place fucking shut. Like they had shows booked for like the next 3 months and they had a show and literally the next morning they're like, that's it. We're done.
Dude, sometimes you don't want to keep losing money.
They were not. Like they
They were
were
not. Okay.
fucking
Yeah. Yeah, they were doing well.
they
Sometimes you just don't want to run a venue anymore. I mean, I get it.
yeah. I know.
Sometimes,
I was just like,
sometimes you're
there were
just
like
fucking done with it, man.
there were three fucking shows that I wanted to see coming up over the next like month, and I'm like, fuck, really?
Yeah, it's kind of funny. What's weird is that there was a point where you could name a city and I could tell you the 8 venues that are in that city, or that, like you don't want to do this one, but you want to do that one. And now
Yeah.
it's kind of funny because it's been so long since we toured. I'm like, man, I don't even know where to play anymore. Like St. Vitus in New York was one of our old haunts for years. Now that's just gone, and
Yep.
that's a bummer. Like there's been some really great venues over the years I was like really looking forward to getting back to, and it's like, oh well, never mind. I guess
Yeah.
we won't be getting back to that one, you know. But
I know the fucking landscape changes. If you're not, you don't stay up on it. It's fucking wild.
not to mention
Um,
there was a goddamn pandemic in there. That
oh yeah,
the great Leavener evening out of the scene, you know, like I don't even know what's out there anymore, you know. So even talking to our new booking agent, who I just like we just started working with, I was just like, so where the fuck do we play? You know, like all my friends that lived in Brooklyn have moved to Philadelphia. So maybe Philadelphia is a little bit hotter of a town than it was at one point. You know, but like people are playing in Queens and not Brooklyn. It's like this is all news to me. But you tell me,
yeah,
you know, no, I'm
yeah.
not
All
that
the
hippie.
new shit. But have you guys played Sanctuary in Detroit?
No, I don't believe so. We played Magic Stick a bunch.
Oh yeah, that place is pretty cool.
Yeah, it was all right. We
Last,
always bowled for free. That
oh
was cool.
yeah.
Yeah.
Uh, last time I was there was High on Fire in May.
Oh, so the Magic Stick is still there.
Mhm.
Oh, you still have bowling alley there?
Yep.
Oh man, I love it.
Yeah. So we went when fucking Black Sabbath was doing. I spent a lot of time up in Detroit, up in that area. It's where I grew up. So like
All right.
when Black Sabbath fucking did the end tour, I went up with my buddy and his wife and some other friends, and of course we went to Black Sabbath. Well, Mac Sabbath was playing the Magic Stick that night.
Awesome. Max
So,
Sabbath is always a good time, dude. Yeah.
and if you bring your fucking ticket from Black Sabbath, you got in for free.
That's
S-
amazing.
So they got done. We fucking beelined the Magic Stick. Like,
Heard all the same songs, but this time about McDonald's.
yeah,
Like
it was
what?
fucking
Yeah,
great, dude.
it's fucking awesome. I love that. I've seen
Dude,
Max Sabbath
such,
a few times.
yeah, there's
Yeah.
like, what a fun fucking band that is.
It's awesome. It's great. It's almost like that death metal band that's all Flanders.
Oakley Dokley.
Oh, amazing. You know, like I sit there, like I can get into this purely for stupid reasons. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, but
Oh,
I'll be buying this T-shirt
I was trying to get fucking Oakley Dokley on Headbanger's Boat. What,
Oh no, shit.
what fucking, I just want, get them on
Yeah,
there. Come on. Fuck.
yeah. Let's make this happen.
It'd
Yeah,
be
I
so
want to
much
play with
fucking
those
fun.
guys. They're on my short list of bands I would love to still play with.
Who else is
Oakley
on there?
Dokley. Envy is my number one.
Okay.
They're a band that like has always been such a huge influence on the Atlas Moth, and there's like so much history here. Like I actually was the first person to run their MySpace page back in the day. Like I was a huge, gigantic fan. And they're from Japan. I'm not sure if you're familiar with them or not. They
I'm
put
not.
out. Oh, you should check them out. They're incredible. They're like basically a hardcore turned into a post metal kind of still hardcore. Somewhere
Okay.
between these. When I got into them, they were kind of like a perfect blend of ISIS and Converge.
Hmm.
Around an album called A Dead Sinking Story. But they played here, and I like fucking went and bought their entire merch table, and they don't speak a lick of English. And I was outside talking to the tour manager and talking through him, and I was like naming all these Japanese hardcore bands that I was into, and yeah, kind of befriended them. And then over the years, there have been several times where we've kind of like, and, you know, then I started the Atlas a couple years later. And there have been a couple times here and there where like we've brushed shoulders or just kind of tiptoed past each other. It was always kind of like, shit, like, God damn it. Like, I would even play a local show just to open for him, you know, like I absolutely love that fucking band. They're definitely on that. And Deftones, I gotta, that's my number. But I mean, I don't ever expect to play with the Deftones because I think that the Deftones have terrible taste in opening bands.
Hold on. Hold on. I'm gonna argue
Okay.
just for a minute. One of
Besides
my
Gojira, besides Gojira a couple years ago,
spotlights,
Spotlights is dope.
like
This might be an antiquated thought because at one point they were taking out the worst fucking bands ever. Like
they went out with
Godsmack.
311.
What the fuck, dude? You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like it's like they were torturing me. You know, like it was like, or make me feel bad about being a Deftones fan. You know, because I'm like, who are you gonna see tonight? It's like Deftones and you know, like I don't want to
Yeah.
fucking tell you who else they're playing with. The fucking Avenged Sevenfold's fucking embarrassing. Like
Uh,
it's one of those times where like I'll go and
I
see
was at
Deftones.
that fucking tour too.
Yeah, I'm like literally walking in, and I feel like I need to like tell the 85-year-old usher, like I'm not here for this last shitty band, just this band. Like it
Yeah.
makes any difference to them. You know, it's like I'm
Well,
justifying like going to see my favorite band because they have zero
dude,
taste.
that Avenged Sevenfold show, we were in Indianapolis for that. My wife and I, we went, and of course, I'm not an Avenged Sevenfold guy. Love fucking Deftones. So Ghost, I didn't know who the fuck they were. And I
Right,
was
right,
like,
right. Yeah,
I was impressed because it was a show.
sure.
The Deftones came on, and I'm like, okay, as soon as I got done, we fucking left on our
Me
way
too.
out. There were these fucking kids. They were probably 14, 15. They're like, man, Avenged Sevenfold. And they were in the lawn. We took off our pit passes and we're like, here, dude. They're like, what? Like, put it on. Here's the ticket. If they question it,
Yeah.
go fucking
Hey,
enjoy
go ham,
yourself.
kids. Yeah.
They're like, really? Like, fuck yeah, dude. I don't like the band. You can
Yeah,
enjoy it,
go
but I'm out of
ham,
here.
kiddo. You know, I mean,
Yeah.
there was a. I'm not sure if you recall, there was a little beef between me and the singer of Muir at one point,
Ooh.
and actually on that ocean tour, we wanted to play in some festival that I won't name specifically to. You can figure this out. I'm just not gonna drop the name, but we played this festival and it was awful. It was terrible, and a Muir was headlining it. And I remember like our public relations lady Liz was like, "Yo, dude, you got to knock him out. The singer of Muri's got
Liz
to
at
knock
Ear
him out."
Split.
Yeah, you know Liz and Dave. I love those two.
Yeah.
Shameless plug number three. Ear Split
They're fucking
PR.
great.
They're fantastic. They're like family to me. They've stayed at my house. I love both of them. But yeah, Liz is sitting there. I mean, we were at South by Southwest the day before, and Liz is like, "You got to knock him out, dude. You just got to punch him in the face." I'm like, "What?" Like, this is terrible advice. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not trying to do that. You know, like I'm not really trying to get into a fight. This guy's kind of a weirdo pussy, but like whatever. But we played this fest. It was a fest that I refused to fucking sell merch at because it was a ridiculous merch rate. I was sitting there selling t-shirts over the fucking fence next to the stage. Um, I remember Frankie from the viewer watched us from the soundboard and he kept pointing at me. And I kept blowing him kisses and like rubbing my nipples and like, doing weird shit to him because I think that he's like a homophobe weirdo. And afterwards, we were walking out, me and Alex or Beetle from Atlas Moth, and also the bass player of Motherless. We were walking out, and I looked at him like, dude, let's make some kids' day. And I forgot who was headline. It was something awful, like asking Alexandria or some garbage that I don't even know. I remember just like walking out. We found like the two like nerdiest kids we could possibly find. Like the guys that were sitting there, like no one is talking to them. They're just huddled
Yeah.
along. I mean, Beta went up to him and we're like, "Here, kids, we just gave them laminates, like,
Fuck
like,
yeah.
like, like, like that'll get you on the side of the stage, go have fun, And they were like, "Holy fuck!" It's like, yeah, I'm leaving anyway. I'm gonna go to my hotel room and forget that I ever played this piece of shit festival. So
Right.
go steal something from back there.
Those are the,
Go
those are
steal
the
some
coolest.
waters.
It's the coolest fucking thing, especially like I, I don't like being there, but you're gonna fucking love it. Here, go have a great fucking time. I'm out of here.
Yeah, that's the thing. I've also one of the things I've adapted in my wise old wisdom here is to not shit on someone's parade. It's
Right.
like, dude, I don't give a fuck. Like whatever, dude. And I like Star Wars. You know what I mean? Like I like fucking stupid shit. Like still don't bum me out. Like let me alone. I want to watch The Mandalorian in peace. I don't need to talk about it. Like it's fine. Like if you like Harry Potter, fucking awesome, dude. Just don't talk to me about it. It's fine.
So, Liz and Dave, are they still fucking doing your PR?
No. So actually, it's funny. They only did our PR for the first record, Glorified. And ever since
Okay.
then, we've been on different labels that didn't work with Dave and Liz, but Dave and Liz have been at every single goddamn time I've ever played New York. They did, I want to say they did PR for Chrome Waves, the first EP that I was on. I think they did that, pretty sure. Maybe Twilight, but those two are family, man. I love Dave and Liz every day, like
Yeah,
they're the
they were
best.
probably the first PR people that I started dealing with, and like they
Yeah, they're great.
honestly, they're fucking fantastic at what they do.
Nowadays, with like the one thing I tell a lot of people, it's like, granted, like I am never in a financial position to pay to record a record. You know what I mean? Like I'm always going to need a
Yeah.
label to throw some thousands of dollars at me to make that happen. But like, if you're already doing it and you're releasing stuff, all you're missing is a PR agent. And I can't tell you how many people I've been like, email Dave and Liz. Like if they'll take care of it. They'll get your fucking video, fucking premiere on wherever. So
Yeah, that's, you know, I tell a lot of bands, I'm of the mind that uh bands should, if you're in a position, record, own everything, and then license it out to the labels. I
yeah,
prefer, I prefer to, for a band to do all of their own shit just because it's better for the band, like long term financially. You
Yeah, totally. Totally. I think nowadays, I don't really know. I remember like my one big thing with the Atlas Moth when we started was like I wanted to be on a label to legitimize this.
Hmm.
You know, what I mean, I felt like we would never get to another step above us if we weren't legitimized by being on some label, you know. And I do think that there is something to be said about that. I'm not sure how much anymore. You know, I guess I'm not in the position to try to do that though. You know, like I've already gotten my name out there. I've already, Motherless is on prosthetic as well as the Atlas Moth. You know, so
Right.
like, but I personally, I'm an artist. I literally do freelance artwork. I'm a reseller online. Vintage T-shirts and toys and records, and I'm a collectible reseller. And I do graphic design and other various arts and farts, if you will. Um, Dude, saving up my share of $10,000 to record a record is just
Yeah.
not going to happen very easily for me. And if we're gonna do something like that, you know, how long out are we planning on? Because like it's rough living out here right now, especially with the economy and all that. And AI is fucking the devil.
Dude.
Just straight up just taking jobs left and right from people like me that draw.
Yeah.
So um yeah, I mean, if you can afford to do it, man, like absolutely. I think having a PR dude, make up a fake label if you ask me. But I think there's something to be said about having a label that will support you and will give you opportunities. Like a record label never booked a tour for me, but they sure did push us towards tours. They sure did tell us about tours that were happening for our agent to go after. They did hook us up with this, that, and the other. And
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, I know that prosthetic is, as I think they've maintained a pretty good overall, like, reputation in the
Reputation.
business.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, but they EJ and Steve are fucking awesome, and they've always taken care of us. And they come to Chicago pretty regularly to hang out, and I always have a fucking great time. So it's like, I wouldn't say necessarily you need to shy away from a label, but yo, if you can, why not? Like
Yeah.
before we signed with Prosthetic, I was actually told by somebody that, have you thought about releasing it yourself? And I was like, I, I got rent. Like,
It's a fucking huge undertaking to take on, but I guess I'm a long-term thinker in that aspect, right?
sure,
Like
sure.
you do that fucking hard grind in the beginning and you hit a certain level where it just grows exponentially. I mean, let's look at Tech Nine. Literally built every
Interesting choice that you went
yeah,
with there. Yeah. Very
but
interesting choice.
but he
But
owns
yes,
fucking everything, right?
right,
His
right, right.
label, like everything. No one tells him what to do. Same thing with Ani DeFranco, right? She fucking started
Another random one that you pull out of the hat right there. But I can respect that. Sure. Yeah.
yeah, I mean, you look at what they did. I mean, shit in the 90s, uh I reading about Ani and Righteous Babe, and I think she was doing $500,000 a year. Like, holy fuck.
Yeah. I mean, like, dude, so there is something to be said about doing that. And like, I honestly think that a couple of our records are due for a repress. And I'm sitting here being like, my whole thing is I want to be able to keep the train rolling, you know what I mean, as far as
Yeah.
like my financial stability goes too, but like
Oh yeah.
I'm over here being like, I could probably figure out a way to repress some of these records and be able to get them directly to a fan, as well as do it in a way that I want it presented. You know what I mean? Like I
Yeah.
want all the accoutrements with it, right? So there's been a lot of thought with that in my mind too, where it's like, ah, shit, like maybe I should start doing that. I probably will. I mean, like honestly, like I said, like for context sake, like I put up a bunch of our old merch and you bought some yesterday, and that's how I'm here today, and seeing those sales, man, I was like, I'm not, maybe I'm back in the day, maybe I was a little bit more afraid to think about doing some of this stuff for us. You know what I mean? Like we were very
Yeah.
active, we were very out there. I think people didn't, I don't want to say took us for granted, but I don't think that people just assumed we'd always be around or always be available, but we haven't been.
Right.
And that's somewhat by design, somewhat by circumstance. Like I said, you don't need to know what I'm eating for lunch every day.
Right.
But I'm also not sitting
Well,
there, worrying. I also didn't realize I had fucking all this merch sitting around this place that I haven't been to in a decade, like in a closet I haven't been to in a decade. And I was like, oh shit. But now taking a little bit of time off and starting to rethink about things, I think that we're looked at in a different light than we were 6, 7 years ago, and that's cool.
Yeah.
I think that's awesome, and I'm like super happy to be that be the case. And I would love to have our older records back on out there. It's definitely something I've been looking into doing. That's definitely on my docket for the last couple months. So
Well, like maybe
yeah,
let's talk off of this
all right, yeah, we should talk. Yeah, I mean,
because I've
there's records out there, man. You know what I mean? Like I got a couple that need
yeah,
to get repressed. So I put out a comic book for Coleman Noir
yep.
last year, and I wanting to get a repress of that going. I know people have been asking me the last 24 hours, got any copies of Coleman? I'm like, I can't believe that thing sold out. Like blew my fucking mind. But
But
that and ink for this.
I think that's a testament to the band though, right? Like obviously you guys are a fucking solid band. I fucking love you. Like I
Thank
just
you, man.
fucking
Thank
love
you,
you,
man. You
Like
know what, man? It's like it's even like yesterday. I got a message from a girl that looking for an old piece of merch, and she sent me a picture of it, and I was like, oh, I fucking forgot we even did that. Like
right.
holy shit, that was pretty good. Like unfortunately, you can imagine that if I didn't even remember doing it, I definitely don't have one. Uh, but she was like, hey, while I got you, one of your guys' songs, saved my life. And music has done that for me over and over throughout the years, man. Like music that I love the most is very, I'd say, emotional. Is
Yeah.
like I love Deftones and I love Nick Cave and I love stuff that's sad and pissed and tragic. And some of that stuff has come through and been a safety net for myself mentally and emotionally. And when I know that I can do that for somebody, I think that's like where the real payoff is of all this. Like we're talking about all this like monetary stuff, but at the end of the day, like having someone be like, "Yo, I know this sounds dramatic, but that song saved my life." It's like, fuck. I'm at least I know that I gave back to what music did
Yeah.
for me. And that's fucking awesome.
Well,
And
that's like,
and I like to think
that's
that we've been a serious band. I like to think that we were a band that didn't fucking exclude anybody. I didn't think that like I said, like, the Atlas Moth is for everybody. I don't give a shit what you believe in. I don't give any of that. Like, if you can find something that you connected with us, like, that's fucking amazing. And I think that on a human level, that's all we all are. And that's what means the most. So,
dude, music. I always look at music as like the great connector because when I walk in to see a band, your religion, your color, your political affiliation, none of that shit matters.
yeah,
We're
yeah,
there to watch the
absolutely.
fucking band and
Yeah,
fuck everything else.
yeah. And, music is escapism for a lot of us, including
Hmm.
myself, and like, there are bands that like I can just put on a record and I can like flip my phone over and I'll just listen to that fucking record. And like it can save a day, man. It can make me feel better. It can make me want to go out and do something. Music is a fucking it's a great connector. It is it's a
Yeah,
through line for all of us, and that's fucking amazing.
it
Like
fucking
I
is,
think that's
dude.
super fucking cool. And like I said, like you brought up Tech Nine. Like I like Justin Timberlake.
Right.
Some of the records that didn't get X'd out was my fucking, future sex love sounds and the first justified by Justin Timberlake. Those ones stayed in the collection, right?
Dude,
This
funniest.
repressive sleep, I was like, I've heard Dope Smoker a lot, like, that would get
That's
full.
one fucking live show that I want to see though, is Justin Timberlake.
Me
I've heard
too.
he puts on a great show, and I'm like, okay, one day I'll fucking do it.
Yeah,
One day
yeah.
I'll
I've been
make
wanting to
it.
do that too, and now he does that whole big band thing, which doesn't really do it for me as much.
Yeah.
Like I remember that DVD he put out for Future Sex Love Sounds was fucking amazing. I still have the DVD of it. Actually, I was like, I'm gonna keep this one. Fucking let him feel good. Put this bitch on. Like,
But it's so funny because there's when we were on did Headbangers Boat this year, there
yeah,
was like honestly no fucking gatekeeping. Like you like that? Cool, man. That's totally fucking cool. Like I like this. Okay, cool. That's not my bag, but I'm not here to fucking shit on you. Like,
as it fucking should be, man. You know what I mean? It's
yeah,
all opinions, dude.
yeah.
There's only one truth in music, and that's Master of Puppets is the greatest album of all time. But that's it. You know,
It's a it's
you
it's a
can't really
fucking
argue the sentiment.
like
Like, basically it, like, but other than
Ride the
that,
Lightning, Master Puppets, and Justice.
yeah,
Like,
and I personally like the Black Album and Load and Reload a lot too. That's just me. I would put Load above Kill 'Em All. Controversial hot takes. How about that?
no,
Like, I think Load's an incredible record, man. that record hits you in the feels, you
huh?
know. Not with Ain't My Bitch. I often bring this up that I could take like 3 songs off a Load and put like 4 songs off a Reload onto it, and it would be a perfect record. And I also say that they're the last like legit deep Hetfield lyrics, and everybody, without fail, before he even finished that fucking sentence, goes, "What about Ain't My Bitch?" And I'm like, "Ain't My Bitch" should be removed from my final track listing, asshole. You know what I mean? Like, obviously, that song is.
Maybe you should do reload and fucking get rid of the shit you don't like. Mix it
I
the way
ha-
you
I
want.
have a Spotify playlist. It's called My Load because I felt
Oh,
like that was grosser. Like, like a little bit,
that is
a little
definitely
double entendre there. Of grossness. I was like,
that's
that's what I was still. I put that bitch on. Boom. The
that's
Outlaw
fucking
Tour
great.
is one of the best Metallica songs ever written. I am a fucking. I'll argue that to the day I die. I think that fucking record rules. I'm also a huge Pepper Keenan COC fan.
Oh,
Which, yeah, okay, so people argue that though. A lot of people I know are like, I don't like the stoner COC. I like the hardcore COC. And I'm a big hardcore guy too, oddly enough, but I just heard Pepper COC first.
yeah,
So like that Load record is pretty much them being like, man, fucking Alice in Chains.
yeah,
Oh, Corrosion Conformity. Oh, Soundgarden, like, and I love all those fucking bands, I'm not gonna lie. So like,
right.
no problem.
That
Like,
was, I love the shit out of COC too, and that was another one. My fucking wife, when we were on Headbangers Boat. Now, mind you, she's a hippie.
okay.
She goes to metal shows with me and lets me do my thing. Um, but like we're there and I'm fucking going nuts for COC, just like she's like, you
Yes.
really do fucking like them. Like, yeah, they don't come through here a lot. So
No.
like when I get a chance, I'm gonna go balls out. I don't give a shit.
Dude, I grew up fucking worshiping Pepper Keenan, and I'm like proud enough to say that I'm at least a fucking acquaintance of his now. I love that dude. I love that fucking band. I was lucky enough to see them a billion times over the years, and I was lucky enough to meet them when I was in high school. I let the singer of 60 Watt Shaman use my mom's cell phone. There was a fucking snowstorm here in Chicago, and she goes, "You have to take my cell phone and call me." And I called her when me and my buddies who are like 16 years old got to House of Blues to let her know. And the singer of 60 Watt Shaman was like, "Hey, man, can I give you a backstage pass to use that cell phone?" And I was like, "You can give me 3 backstage passes. I'm here with 2 of my buddies." And yes, you can. I let him make some ridiculous phone call that apparently cost my mother hundreds of dollars. But me and my buddies got to see COC and met him
Backstage pass?
backstage. Exactly, yeah. And like it was awesome. Like I actually had Jimmy Bowers was playing drums for him on that tour.
Oh yeah.
I hadn't I didn't know that he was an I Hate God. I had an I Hate God at the time. I just didn't catch it. I mean, whatever.
Yeah.
And I had Mike and Woody and Pepper sign on my CD covers. And then, dude, fast forward like 15 years, I did a screen printed poster for a COC show here in Chicago. I do the artwork for it. And my friend Kim Kelly, who's pretty famous in the metal circles, she was on tour with them, and I was like, dude, I can't go to the show. I have to work, but like, here is a stack of CD covers. Like, can you please have Reed Mullen sign them for me? And he wrote me an awesome little note in there, being like, "Oh man, like," and it was like super rad that I have that, especially after he passed just a couple years ago. Like
Yeah.
that band means the fucking world to me. I fucking love Project Conformity.
Fuck yeah. That
Yeah,
was
dude.
so I Hate God was another one. Like my wife, she grew up Catholic, so I'm like, oh, I'm gonna go see I Hate God. She's like,
Yeah, one of these right here. Like,
yeah.
yeah,
So then we're on the fucking boat and like watch, as COC's getting ready to take the stage. Here comes Gary Mader and Jimmy Bower, and I'm like fucking chatting with
yeah,
them, and she's like, "Who's that?" And I'm like, "Oh, that band you hate." And she's like, "Ah, I Hate God." She's like,
yeah.
Well
It is
then,
EYE.
yeah, EHG. So
Yeah, yeah,
later that fucking night, they were playing. So I'm like, "You want to go watch?" And she's like, "Yeah, I want to see what it's all about." Literally, second song in, she goes, "Holy shit, this is fucking good." I'm like,
yeah.
"Yes, it is
They jam,
fucking
dude.
good." Like,
Yeah, I'm proud. I love that the Atlas Moth got to tour with all those bands. Like we've shared the stages with New Orleans as a whole.
Yeah.
I think that fucking rules because that was like such a big part of when we started, when we were like, yeah, we're gonna be like a fucking New Orleans band, but from Chicago. Didn't really work out that way, but in general, it added to what we became, right?
Yeah.
And we've toured with I Hate God, we've played with Down, we've toured with Crowbar. It's like Soil and Green would be on the list of bands I have not gotten a chance to fucking play or tour with.
I
That would
think
be on.
you might.
Yeah, it's possible. Who knows? Acid Bath, possibly.
Yep.
Like anything from New Orleans always struck a chord with me for some reason or another.
Yeah, me too. I've always been drawn to like that New Orleans sound, and talking to those guys, they'll tell you like they got a lot of their sound from the Melvins, which is like
Right.
complete, it's so fucking
Yeah, and the funny thing is that like I'm not a gigantic Melvins fan.
mm,
But that's once again, it's like the beauty of music, like what I get out of I Hate God and Crowbar and all that shit is, comes from something that like I didn't understand. And I like the Melvins enough, you know what I mean? But like I'm not like
yeah,
a diehard Melvins guy. Um, but yeah, it's kind of weird. We think about it like, oh wow. And then
yeah.
we like, man, I really love the Atlas Moth. I'm like, man, I love Justin Timberlake. Ha ha,
I know,
gotcha.
fucking all over the place, but
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
it's the beauty of music. You can like whatever the
absolutely.
fuck you want to like.
Yeah, man. Like I love fucking Depeche Mode and Duran Duran and I love a lot of stuff. Michael Jackson and Justin Timberlake. And I like, William Elliott Whitmore and all sorts of random shit. Like I like all sorts of music. It's like I like to be able to fucking take a little bit from here and there, and it's all the big soup that makes you who you are,
Yeah,
you know.
everything's got something to teach you. I think that's the,
Absolutely. Yeah. And once you
that's where a lot of
stop learning, you're dead.
that's it. Fucking
That's
weirdo
it.
cat. She's
I got
like she
weirdo
puts
dogs howling in the background.
nah shit, my dogs are all upstairs. I'm actually surprised they're not making a bunch of noise. I was telling you, my fucking daughter literally
Yeah.
just turned 18. She's got friends. I think they went, I don't know, they went to dinner or something, but this fucking table's got like two or three tiers of like cupcakes, and
Oh, Jesus Christ.
yeah, I'm like,
Sounds like a nightmare for my waistline.
yeah, but man, fucking delicious. My wife
Yeah,
crushed
right.
it on
Yeah.
those cupcakes.
That's awesome. That rules.
I'm like,
Yeah, I just got a
fuck.
bunch of a bunch of pit bulls downstairs that are just howling. It's well, the rescue dogs. My sister winds up keeping the really bad cases, and all of them are sweethearts, but they all have abandonment issues.
Oh
So,
yeah.
you know,
Yeah,
my
we've
bulldog is
actually
roaming around here.
all of ours are rescues too.
Yeah,
The
people don't
last one,
understand about them. You know what I mean? Sometimes it's not just as easy as taking them. You're
yeah,
taking all that trauma with them too. Like I just lost a dog like last week who I had for 9 years. Tore me up. My bulldog is continuously still looking for her. And now he's
oh yeah,
infinite. If he wasn't attached to me to begin with, he is
he is now.
mega attached to me right now. I'm actually surprised he's not sitting here next to me right now
Yeah,
or whatever.
we
I think
just
he's afraid of
actually our fucking youngest one just got one of her legs amputated in
life.
like April. Yeah,
Wow, that's
some weird
crazy.
thing. She fell over and it fucking broke, and we take her into the fucking vet, and they're like, cancer. All
Yeah, I
right,
mean that's what my dog just passed from cancer too. She had a mass in her abdomen on Tuesday, and I had to take her Friday night to put her down. I didn't even get to the oncologist appointment on Monday. That's how quick it just
yeah.
went. It was heartbreaking, to be honest with you. But hey, man, if I could have chopped off her leg and kept her, I would have.
I'm telling you, that was, and I still struggle with that because like today she fucking went to scratch her fucking right here, and that leg's gone, and I'm like, okay, I
Yeah,
got you, kiddo.
yeah, I
Like
got you. I'm coming.
like fuck,
There's a lot of advancements in dogs with missing limbs, though. Like according to
yeah,
my Facebook reels, those there's a lot of movement out there, which is good. I love that. We actually have a dog whose name is Jarvis downstairs who broke his fucking tail. I'm not sure if you've ever seen a broken tail,
no,
but it isn't about as sad of a sight as you can. I'm laughing. Please don't take this the wrong way. I am such a huge animal, but it looked like you know it was like this walking around, and it was like this end of it is just kind of
trying to,
it's like just swinging, but the rest of the tail's going, and the bird's broken fast. It's just going, it's like you got a dead arm. It was weird
ah,
though, and now we had you know I'm here with my sister helping her out at the moment while she's helping me, save up some cash to find a new place. But I had to take this dog with her, and it's like his tail had to get like about that much taken off of it, and and now it looks like someone rolled out gnocchi, like the potato dumpling, and
Yep.
cut off a piece. It's like literally, it's super fucking weird, and it's a sad sight. But he's a happy little guy, still running around wagging his little nubby tail.
Well,
Looks like
that's the weird thing about that amputation too, is like, you know, when it goes to their belly, the fur is like a gradual thing. Well, now
oh,
the it goes fur, nothing.
weird.
Like a fucking line. It's so weird.
Is
I'm
there
like,
like a phantom limb situation with dogs? I would have to assume so,
I would think
right?
so. Like she literally
Right?
thinks like
It's still there.
yeah, like she I don't it doesn't happen a lot, but a couple times a month she gets down to fucking go scratch and you can see her just doing one of these and you're like,
Like
come
waiting
here.
for it. Like I
Like
can't get it done. Like
like
why isn't it there? Man, that's weird. That's weird. Poor
it's
guy.
fucking wild. So and sometimes you scratch, you see that fucking back nub just like
Oh, interesting. See, there's all these things you don't think about, but it's really interesting.
it's
This guy,
fucking
his
wild.
his tag definitely is just keeps going and just it looks squared off at the end. It's like super fucking weird. Like, but he's a bag of anxiety to begin with. Like I said, rescue dogs, especially the ones my sister does. Like she does the Lord's work if there's a Lord. Pit bulls are fucking abused, and I've had them my entire
Oh yeah.
life, and they're great fucking dogs, and I've never had an issue with one. And she's had the ones that are the undesirables. That's all she's ever kept. She's been doing this rescue for 30 years. She's owned it, and these guys are just the fucking head cases. They're the ones that are the fucking worst of the worst, usually that aren't attacking you and attacking other dogs at least. But yeah, poor guy. What are you gonna do though? He already has enough problems. He doesn't need to lose his tail too. Jesus Christ, give the
Yeah.
guy a fucking break.
No shit. Like, what the
Yeah.
hell did you do in your previous
Yes.
life? Like,
Seriously, right? Like, I dogs like really attracting my girlfriend calls me the dog whisperer, and I'm always like, I must have been like a golden retriever in a past life, like something. I was like such a good boy, like that's why
yeah,
dogs like me so much now.
he's not gonna
So I
fuck
think
us up. We know it.
it's the
Ah,
only thing I can think of. I must have been like a fucking total like yellow lab. Yeah,
yeah.
the most mundane of dogs. Whatever you can think of, golden retriever, Irish setter, something real mundane.
That's a
Friendly
my
neighborhood.
wife. I name all the fucking animals. When we get them. Aside from the turtle, that one I didn't name. My daughter did, but she's like, we got our oldest one is Camille. I was like, we got her, and I was like, oh, that's her name, and she like responded to it. I'm like, okay. Then we get her.
Chino Moreno's real name.
I know that's
Yeah.
actually why,
Oh,
you know.
nice. All right, cool. Nice.
Um, so then we get her a companion, and she was like mother. So I was like, oh, what if we call her Gaia? And she like looked at me and like smiled and fucking. I was like, okay, you're Gaia. So I did the same
Sometimes
thing with
dogs
the
names themselves. It's really how it goes
dude.
sometimes.
That that's how I've always done it. Is like you'll tell me what your fucking name is, and our youngest dog, Penny Lane, we're like sitting there just talking and she's like trying to call her all these different names and I said, "What if you called her Penny?" And her she kind of
Yep, there you go.
she goes, "You son of a bitch. I was gonna name her."
You're only too slow to the draw. That's how that one
Like,
goes.
yeah,
Yeah, I was
sorry.
trying to
Like,
name. I named my bulldog Beauregard. Um, and he goes by a billion different names, but Bobo, Bubba, whatever it goes by.
yeah.
I make up shit for him all the time. I just think that he knows I'm talking to him at this point because I call him so many different fucking things. But
He's like, "I've never heard that one before. What's up?"
like whatever, there's
Yeah.
only me and you in the room, pal. So I'm hoping that you're talking to me. Is what I'm assume he says a lot. I wanted to name him George, which was my father's name, just because he gives me that same disappointed look all the time. But he's a bulldog. Their faces are just like that. But I was
It's
like,
just always like that. Yeah.
I remember just getting stoned, like looking at him, like maybe his name is George. I remember my sister at the time being like, he would be so pissed if you named that dog George, that ugly dog. It's like, yeah, it's fair. Yeah. Maybe I'll wait to get a really nice looking dog and name him George.
Name him
Probably
George.
not going
But
to happen.
The dog
You know?
has to have the same disappointed look. Like,
Yeah, yeah. It's the same look that when you could get pictures on your credit cards that I got on my credit card of my dad just looking at me really disappointed, like you're really gonna use the credit card to buy fucking comic books. You fucking
yep,
assholes. Like, ooh, yeah, man, I better not do that, Put dad back in the wallet there.
tuck that away. I'll
Yeah, it's
be
like I
back.
didn't buy a $3,000 copy of Spider-Man 1 today, Mom. Like,
Oh,
looking for praise about things I shouldn't be doing anyway. That's typical.
to have that's the benefit of like growing up, growing up and having money is you can do all the shit you wanted to do as a kid.
Yes. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Like I can spend all my money on toys.
Right.
And I will,
And I do it,
Yeah, and
motherfucker.
I do it. I'm actually pretty disciplined when it comes to my collection at this point, like we were saying earlier, but I do have some pricey things that I've been like, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it. At least I don't won't go down in value. I have that going for me.
Yeah. Well, that's I started to get into watches like,
Oh,
oh,
cool.
I'm gonna buy some fucking watches and watch them appreciate. And I fucking bought, I don't know, I seen one, I bid on it. It was like $700. I bought it for like four. And I'm like, oh, badass. I wait a few months and I look and I'm like, it's only worth three. What the fuck did I do?
Yeah, what the fuck happened? I always tell people never to invest in anything that you can't keep an eye on and won't keep an eye on. Like
Right.
I like inherited a coin collection, a part of a coin collection from my grandfather, and I don't really have like the sentimental aspect. Like I know why he gave it to me.
Mhm.
It's because it's the monetary value of it. You know what I mean? Like he didn't give it to me to keep. Didn't know I gave a fuck about coins. He was like, I want the kids to have chunks of this. And the only thing that I've seen out of it too is that like it's not worth dip. You know what I mean? It's actually worth nothing. Like I think like the most I got out of it is like the silver in there is worth the most. So it's like unless you're gonna be into this, don't
Yeah.
stand in the way. Just stick to what you know. But
That's,
your records are worth a ton.
that's
Like
the hardest thing. Like my kids, they're like, why are you buying so many records? I'm like, well, one, obviously I love music, right? I love them.
yeah,
I said, but when I die, you guys can sell them and like at the time, I don't know, I probably had like three or 400.
yeah,
And I pull up my fucking Discogs and they're like, I said, you want to know like about what they're worth right now? And I guess. I
yeah,
think at the time it was like 25 or 26,000. They go, holy shit. I'm
yeah,
like, yeah, like I promise you, you think they're fucking stupid and not worth anything, but
yeah,
there's a reason I take such meticulous care of them because they're going to be fucking worth.
yeah.
There are
Like I
records in
get
there
it,
you'll
kid.
never get
You
again.
don't know shit about obituary, but I'm gonna tell you something, all right?
Yeah,
Like this record will help out one day, like it's fucking sick. All right. Get out of here, kid.
yeah, it'd be
Yeah.
fucking
I
great.
I always laugh. My one buddy left me in his will for his record collection. I was like, fuck. I was like, God, he lives in Texas and it's a record collection. Like, you son of a bitch. Like, how hard it's gonna be for me to get those home when you
Transport.
die.
Yeah,
You son of a bitch. But then I'm like, yeah, you know what? You got pretty good taste though. So
I
I'll
I
deal with it.
I've almost bid on a 10,000 record collection in fucking Chicago.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I was like, I think they were at 47 or 4,800. And I'm like, for 10,000
That's
records,
not
like,
bad. I mean, but you know how many of those records are Bing Crosby?
even if they sell for $1,
That's true. If you could sell them for $1. Everyone's always giving me Bing Crosby records. I've never paid for them.
oh yeah, I don't fucking want
Like,
that. Get it.
Jesus Christ, Superstar. You're like, son of a bitch, dude. Again?
Yeah. Well,
You know?
now I'm like, I wonder if it's still for sale because we're coming up next weekend for Mastodon at in
Oh, yeah.
Hammond.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, yeah. Where is that collection?
Um, fuck, I don't even remember right now. I saw
Yeah,
it
I'm
on
curious.
eBay.
Right.
So,
Okay. Yeah, yeah. I mean, I am that dude. I'm just totally, I'm always like, I'll buy a collection of something. Like,
yeah.
I have an absurd knowledge of things that are valuable in the most weirdest of subgenres. It's like, ooh, that GI Joe gun is worth like $60. Like,
Dude, you should own like a pawn shop.
oh, dude, I'd be a fucking, my house is a pawn shop. My entire fucking life is a pawn shop. People would come over to like watch fucking a game or something. Like, hey man, what's up with your sale? Like, yo, all of it. Like theoretically,
Yeah.
like, how deep are your pockets? Because the stuff in the glass cases, it'll take a little bit of prying, to get out of my cold dead fingers. But
You
other
look
than
at
that,
that nice whiskey and you're like, oh, what's that? A couple $100? And they're like, that one's $7,000. Like,
yeah,
what the
exactly.
fuck?
Yeah, yeah, it's wild. People don't understand the collector's market. It's always it blows my mind when I talk to people. I'm like, really, nothing? You never heard of anything? Like, I mean, I park my money in a piece of plastic, I guess, as opposed to putting it in a bank for what it's worth, right? But I
You know,
also don't think about that. I like my stuff.
I think a lot of those investments are a better investment than letting it sit in the fucking bank. 'Cause when it's in the bank, I'm so terrible at it. I'm like, yeah, I want that. I'll just go and buy that, whatever that is.
A hundred
Whereas
percent, dude. Yeah,
once it's fucking invested,
at least it's there. At least I can't spend it any other way. I think that I'm pretty good at what I do invest in as far as that goes. Like I very little do I have. If I have it and it's not something that's going to appreciate in value, it's because I just like it.
yeah.
And also, like I said, I'm only here for a certain amount of time. I want to enjoy every minute of it. So if
Oh
I
yeah.
have 3,000 wrestling action figures, it's because I really like my little men in their underwear. I don't give a fuck. Fucking sue me. Like I will put you in a power bomb. I don't give a fuck.
I'm gonna fuck you up and then I'm gonna go see Justin fucking Timberlake, bitch.
That's fucking right, dude. Yeah. I'm gonna fucking play with my wrestling action figures while I listen to Justin Timberlake. You can kiss my
Hell yeah.
fucking ass. Yeah,
Hell
absolutely.
yeah. All right, Stavros, dude, thank you. I greatly appreciate you fucking hanging out and chatting with me
Yeah,
tonight.
man. Yeah, absolutely, man. I'm glad we got a chance to talk. Yeah,
Hell
absolutely.
yeah.
I don't know how much
So,
we got to any band stuff, but Atlas
yeah,
Moth is touring next year. Boom. Motherless is touring next year. We got a record coming out. It's called Do You Feel Safe? On Prosthetic, and there's going to be an Atlas Moth covers EP next year.
oh, fancy.
Yeah,
When
so
does
we'll have some
that
stuff there.
motherless fucking thing come out?
Well, just waiting to finish up the artwork right now. So I'm assuming summer.
Okay.
We haven't really, yeah, I haven't, it's a really pissed off record, and it's only 32 minutes of pure fury, and I'm stoked on it. And it'll be out shortly. I'm sure we'll try to have some songs up online at least earlier next year. But
Okay.
that's kind of, yeah. So there, we did our due
Well,
diligence.
we'll do this again right before it's released so we can help fucking get some more shit going.
Yeah, sounds good. I'll probably have a little bit more to talk about.
Hell yeah. I don't know. I
All right,
think
bro.
we had a fucking lot to talk about tonight.
Yeah, yeah. I can go on for hours. I don't shut the fuck up. So I
Yeah,
know
it
it's
was a
your
lot of
podcast.
fun.
Yes.
Fuck yeah. Well,
All right,
go and
bro.
have a great night, dude, and
Yeah,
we'll
man.
catch
You
up
too,
soon.
dude.
Thanks,
Absolutely, man.
brother.
Later,
See
man.
ya.